Hawking bot. Prometheus is a 2012 origin alien movie, directed by original Alien director Ridley Scott. To get the franchise back on track with a new angle, by explaining away all of the mystery of Alien. What was the space jockey sitting in the chair? How did it come to be there? What was the donut ship? Where was it headed? Why did it have a cargo hold full of alien eggs? As in keeping with a modern trend of shitting all over the mystery of a classic film, by remaking it, Prometheus attempts to fill in the gap before Alien, by explaining who the space jockeys are. Not since the travesty of Phantom Menace has a movie been so eagerly hyped up.
There is an explanation for this, you know.
What's good about Prometheus? Prometheus is a visual treat. From beginning to end, it looks epic. The visuals are stunning. Think Blade Runner good. The CGI is never distracting or fake looking. The not LV-426 world looks alien and vast. The Skull Hill, the mapping walls, the light show in the donut ship, are all standout moments. The holographic videos, and the alien-esque touches to the donut ship, all have that Ridley Scott style. David is by far the best developed character, as much as the script will allow. The android who exudes the right mix of creepy English butler charm, intelligence, and childlike amazement. Some of the set pieces really work, including the horror of the self-cesarean section, and the squid baby, the donut ship takeoff. The donut ship itself looks authentic to the original Alien movie, including the elephant spacesuit.
Wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call. Bad call.
What's bad? Well, what have you got? Poorly handled concept. Stupid, useless characters, who in the main come across as paint-by-numbers war dispatch fodder. Stupid supposed intelligent people masquerading as scientists, who defy belief with their stupid antics. Lack of logic. Care. Most deserve to die. Things like removing their helmets because they sense air, and then affecting the atmosphere in the temple. Playing with the pots. Space Johnny Rotten and his pal getting lost in the temple, even though he bought the digital mapping walls. An old man who looks like he has a Halloween mask on. Should have just got a real old man. Dr. Swamp Penis and his bizarre reaction to a potentially deadly swamp penis. And why is Dr. Swamp Penis so scared of the dead bodies they find? But mesmerized by a potentially deadly swamp penis. Isn't he some kind of exobiologist? What did he expect to find on this mission? Too many characters to get to know. Too many red shirts just there to die off, so you can't form an attachment to any of them. Also, being one of the best realized characters, David is also one of the worst. We never truly discover his actual motivation.
What happens when Wayland is not around to program you anymore?
I suppose I'd be free.
You want that?
Want. Not a concept I'm familiar with. That being said, doesn't everyone want their parents dead?
I didn't.
Is he trying to be more human? Does he have a soul? Is he totally under Wayland's control? Or is he acting on his own initiative? Why open the door of the ship when Space Johnny Rotten's camera came back on? Just turn a camera at him or look out of the window? They would have known he was probably dead. Why take the chance? In case he is a mutant. Oh, he is. That could have saved a red shirt or two. Why no proper arsenal? Surely, they expected to meet aliens? What about insurance? Why just a flamethrower and a couple of pop guns? What was the point of the Vickers character? Did it matter she was Wayland's daughter, and why did she hate him so much? Why run away in a straight line from a donut rolling down a hill? The robot parallels drawn with David were just boring. We didn't care if she was or not, although she could have been a tranny, as her matey chair was for male patients only.
I need cesarean.
Error. This medpod is calibrated for male patients only.
Vickers was a complete non-entity in this film, kinda floating around in the background. Her death was weak, like they just needed to get rid of her. They should have had her survive the donut rolling, and for the alien to get her at the end. That would have been good. All that said, Vickers is the only character with half a noodle who tries to exercise some disease control when Holloway gets space AIDS. Maybe say, a bit like Ripley in the original.
Open the hatch.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
Too many questions / plot holes. Why did the engineers create life? To then want to destroy it. Why leave cave paintings to invite the humans to come and find their weapons installation? With all of the sophisticated radar equipment aboard Prometheus, why did Holloway spot the temple from miles away? Does this guy have X-ray eyes? Why did Whalen instruct David to poison Holloway? For what purpose? Why did Whalen believe he would get immortality from a big blue smurf? Why didn't Shaw tell Yannick about the squid baby? After all, he told her he didn't want to take any of the goo home with him. If there were other weapon installations, why didn't the engineer just go and get in another donut ship and finish its mission, instead deciding to go kill Shaw? After all, it wasn't bothered early on when it let her escape, choosing to power up the first donut ship instead. Why not set it on LV-426? Why not have this as the origin for Alien? Join a few dots at least. They can still have Shaw go off, looking for the engineers. It doesn't change anything. More unanswered questions here than Lost, the TV series. Lost was one of those shows which had the same problem, around season 3. They posed so many questions people started to lose interest, so they had to pull it back by answering a few of the questions. But guess what? Lost writer Damon Lindelof was behind Prometheus as well. Go figure. Pacing. Pacing is a big issue in this film. No more so than the opening scenes with a Smurf committing suicide to create life. By seeing it, it makes the later scene of the elephant mask unveiling redundant, as we already what the Smurf looks like. So there is no wow moment. They look just like us. Similarly, the DNA revelation is also known to us, because we seen it at the start. It seems the opening scene might have been added later, as an afterthought, to answer a few of the later numerous questions about the Smurf's intentions. But this spoils the later build-up of tension. Why show David receiving some form of instruction? It makes you suspect Whalen is secretly still alive. After all, who else would David listen to? Whalen designed him. Why not just cut this scene and then have David poison Holloway? Make you believe David might be deranged, only to later reveal it was Whalen's idea.
I may be synthetic, but I'm not stupid.
The original script made more sense. It was a direct Alien tie-in, set on LV-426. They kept their helmets on. Space Johnny Rotten wasn't the digital flying mapping ball carrier. He was just a geologist. Someone else brought the mapping balls, so he had more reason to go and get lost. It was the digital apparition that frightened him to run away, not the dead body. In the script, David's role was better explained, including his programming, to use Holloway and Shaw to discover the secret and then kill them both to ensure it fell into Whalen's hands. He explained this in the script. And the ship's not called Prometheus, it was called the Magellan. Seemed more appropriate for a ship on a voyage of discovery. Prometheus only makes sense if the humans know that the engineers are benevolent and want to guide the humans, which they don't.
Now, how many different ways do you want me to tell the same story?
Deleted scenes which need to go back in. There are some scenes which are brand new scenes and extensions of other scenes, which help clarify some of the events in Prometheus, and desperately need to go back in, including more characterization, which is badly needed. For instance, Dr. Swamp Penis discovers the first alien worms, which might help somewhat to explain his later overexuberance when he meets the Swamp Penis. This next debit scene shows Space Johnny Rotten and Dr. Swamp Penis finding a shed skin in the temple shortly after getting lost, which suggests it was an alien that killed all of the engineers. This was something hinted at during development. It doesn't add anything in particular, but is a nice alien-style touch. Mutated Space Johnny Rotten is not a lumbering zombie. In another cutscene he is a fast-moving alien warrior, which explains why the Prometheus red shirts can't hit him for shit. Extended scene of the engineer slowly stalking Shaw in the life pod at the end is so much more effective than his stage right block and tackle. David's explanation to Shaw of what the engineer told him when David asked where they were from. The engineer actually talking to David is itself another deleted scene. The engineer's answer was Paradise, without the Paradise tie-up. It doesn't make any sense why David spies on Shaw's dreams and tells her about it later, which is also what Shaw's dad told her in the dream when she asked where her dead mother had gone.
And I don't think that you or I or anybody has the right to arbitrarily exterminate them.
And scenes which need taken out. The opening scene showing the Smurf's face, or at least make it fleeting glimpses, so the reveal later of the head is more profound. It also makes Shaw's DNA discovery invalid as a twist, as we already know this from the beginning. Cut the scene of David receiving instruction from Wayland, as it raises suspicion that Wayland is probably still alive.
What did he say, David?
I don't think he'd want me to tell you.
So when they reveal it later you have already figured it out. Cut the fanboy porn shot of the newborn alien. Unnecessary. Summary. Ultimately, Prometheus is a pretty film which raises too many questions as a smokescreen to hide dumb characters, poor logic, and bad writing. It leaves you at the end wondering what the film achieved. Shaw began the film looking for the engineers. Well, she pretty much ends it that way. We don't learn anything about them. It's clear that 20th Century Fox were worried about the negative criticism surrounding Prometheus, and for the Blu-ray release, decided to write all over the cover. Questions will be answered, and send Ridley Scott out on a major PR exercise to clear things up. But they aren't clear. It doesn't have to answer all of the questions either, just some of them, to keep the audience interested. All that said, I can't entirely hate this movie as the visuals are so stunning that it deserves a watch just for this. On Blu-ray it looks amazing, if you can ignore everything else. Let's hope they learn from this in part 2. So long.
Bye.